Hi, my name is Richard Mall, and I'm the president and founder of Operation Lightforce and a pastor at Lightforce Church, and we are located in Dover, Florida.
My name is Andrew Mall. I'm one of the pastors at Lightforce Church, and we are located in Dover, Florida.
My name is Luke Crafton, and I am the current tech director at Lightforce Church in Dover, Florida.
We've been using GPS for about 2 years now, and it has been an incredible experience.
I am blown away by all that GPS can do, all that it offers, all the different components that it integrates into one, the ease of use, the technological components that are all incorporated together to make something function. In our case, being a smaller church and a startup church, to be able to function with so many different things, to look high-end professional, both on a smaller budget and on there's so many different components that make it pretty amazing.
It's been just the most easy thing that we've ever used. Before GPS, it was such a difficult thing trying to figure out how we wanted to do live streaming and all the different things that we watch other churches or big churches do. And so just the ease that it's been for our church to transition into live stream has been really amazing.
My impression of GPS so far has been overwhelmingly helpful. Its utility is versatile enough that you can do just about anything you need to with it. It allowed us to expand from almost nothing, technically speaking, to everything we have now.
Before we got GPS, we didn't even do live stream most weeks. And if we did, it was just an iPhone on a stand with one of the little iPhone adapters. And we would just stick it right in the front, and in between transitions, you couldn't see anything on the screen. There was no lyrics. And so we actually didn't even do lyrics before GPS on our screen for worship. It was just, if you knew the songs, you knew them. If not, sometimes we would print out pieces of paper and give it to everyone that came to church. So before GPS, no live stream, no lyrics on the screens, no presentation from the pastors or the speakers. And if we did do live stream for just special events, pretty much it was just an iPhone.
Our church technical system before GPS, that was several years ago, but we didn't have all the capabilities ever that this system has all in one. And so, yeah, it is such an incredible improvement. I've been a part of big churches that have crazy, insane systems, but nobody on staff, almost nobody knew how to operate some of those systems. You had to have super trained people to operate some of those systems.
When using our previous technical system, we really struggled with any form of streaming. Honestly, we were using systems that didn't work. We were trying, but it was something we gave up on almost every week because it wasn't worth the effort. It was too complicated. We didn't have anyone who knew how to do it. So if one person was out of town, if anyone was out of town that knew how to use what we were trying to use, nothing happened.
Before GPS, we didn't have like a real tech team, and so it was a bunch of volunteers with no experience. So one 17-year-old kid would take his iPhone and he would set it up, and that would be our live stream. And so because we didn't really have anyone with expertise or know what was going on, we would get random shots of just like an empty stage during transitions, or we would think that we had started the live stream when we really hadn't started the live stream, and we would miss stuff. We even had like baptisms that we tried to live stream for families, and we thought we had live streamed and they never live streamed and nobody got to see them.
Except for when I was at a large church that had large budget, large staff, and spent an insane amount of money on that kind of stuff. It was like you in smaller and church plant situations, you had a fixed camera. We didn't have someone that would run a switcher and do multiple cameras, so we just never even thought of that as a possibility. We picked either YouTube or Facebook. Couldn't stream on both systems, and there's benefits to doing both. But we just pretty much had to pick each time, unless we were going to use two different devices, and this just made all of that so much simpler. The cool thing with this system is that it streams to both Facebook, YouTube at the same time.
GPS has improved our technical system through showing the church leadership and the members of the body that advancement and new possibilities can be easy, achievable, easily trained. New people can understand how to work and run at least the base level of the system within minutes. We've been able to improve every single aspect of our technical layout or setup or system entirely because GPS showed us that it was possible and that it was doable, that it was within our grasp and within our reach, which was something that really stalled us before.
Since GPS, we now have live stream. We now have lyrics on the screen for people. The ease, we've been able to do a lot more with our live stream and a lot more promotion for our church. In the past, it was hard for people to know about us or what was going on. Now it's a lot easier for people to get a feel for what happens at our services.
GPS has greatly enhanced our technical system. First of all, we have multiple cameras, and we have one person sitting in the back running not just that, but our sound system. And so we were getting multiple angles and, really quality shots, close-ups, things like that. We, been able to integrate. The cool thing is either I, as the presenter, can scroll through the slides, or I can have someone in the audience scroll through the slides. We can do both during worship. Someone can be in the audience scrolling through slides. Someone on the worship team could. We've never done it that way, but it's so easy to do. They'd be reading the lyrics, singing, and scrolling through the song. We just have never done it that way, but it would be so easy to do that. And then just hand that same device over to, whoever's going to be speaking, myself, one of the other pastors, and they can run it themselves. Or because some people, there are times that I want to run it myself, and there are times I don't want to think about the slides. And so, either way, it's so simple to do.
My favorite feature of GPS is probably going to be the Bible app. It's something very cool that I have never seen before in all my years of working with different tech systems and styles. The spontaneity of being able to throw a verse up on screen within seconds of it being listed, and the expectation that has almost brought into the congregation and the pastor of that happening spontaneously whenever and wherever the passage may be. I think that's one of the coolest things that I've seen in GPS. With the Bible app, you can legitimately put a verse on the screen within 3 seconds of it being said, and that's more towards the long. I'm giving it a lot of room there. It can be it can be down to a second and a half, honestly, how fast you can type it in, find the address, and put it on the screen. It's an incredible feature, in my opinion.
I mean, it improved from nothing to having it every single week. We actually have it for multiple services. We even, for some of our small groups where we have people with even no training, they're even able to come in and capture that and share it, because in the past people would miss our church and they would be disappointed that they didn't get to see the next part of our series unless they could make it, or if they go on vacations. It's been a lot easier for everyone to follow and keep up to date with what's going on with our church. It's also been a great place for people to share and to help promote our church, and a lot more people have found our church and kind of know what's been going on at our church.
I love the fact that the cameras can track you, when you're speaking, that it automatically switches to cameras. I like the integration of all the different components. I just think simpler is better. And, everything from when we turn on the computer and the sound system, like once you set your presets, it's, push and go a lot of times. Pretty minimal setup involved, very easy to use and access. So all of those are excellent, incredible.
My favorite feature is probably how easy it is for us to do the lyrics and the slides for live stream and in-house. It live cuts for the live stream and for in-house. And for adding new songs, it used to take somebody a lot of time to type them all up on PowerPoint, import them, and then you'd have problems. Now you just go to Song Select, you hit copy, you hit paste, and it automatically makes them into the third for the live stream and full size for the in-house. And so, it's about 3 clicks and we can have any song we want, which it makes it a lot easier for the worship team to, if God lays something on their heart last minute, to add a song, or even if they do something where like spontaneous worship or something just comes on their heart, we can actually just type in live to a slide that is programmed and it pops up for the live stream on the third and in-house on full screen. And so it's really impacted our worship.
I think sometimes, especially when you're a startup church, people are always judging, and so one of the things you want to do is do things with excellence. When you don't have the budget to look great, you don't have all the pieces, but you know that what you have to offer to the world and the body of Christ is incredible. It's nice to be able to have a system that can help you look like you have got a lot more than you have, because people, they judge you according to those type of things. And so you don't look like you're running, like I know some large churches that are running their live stream through a iPhone at the back of the sanctuary. And you can tell. You look at that, they don't have a huge online presence, and they could.
The LiDAR is like the coolest thing ever. I love it when people text me So before our church, I've known a lot of pastors in our area, and we didn't really have a live stream. Once we started this, I started getting texts from pastors asking like, hey, how do you do this? Or how many volunteers do you have? And like, what's going on with your church? Your production has changed so quickly. And it was really cool to be able to say like, we have one person sometimes in the back, but a lot of times the cameras are just automatically tracking and automatically switching. It's just like a really cool thing to kind of talk about and share. And it's gotten some of the other smaller churches in our city excited about how instead of being overwhelmed about how to handle their live production and their live streaming, they've been excited that they're going to be able to produce something that looks really good after watching how quickly we went from sometimes an iPhone to multiple cameras live switching.
A lot of times it is helpful when you just present the gospel well, clearly. You can represent Christ well and clearly. And in our day and age, we are bombarded with all kind of media, and people scroll through it. If it doesn't grab their attention, look right, they'll click that box and just go on to the next thing. And it is, having a system that is presented well is just, it's not a deterrent to the gospel. It is, it's an enhancement.
So GPS has helped our church in just being able to push the gospel and continue discipleship. Instead of you having to be able to make a service, or during COVID when people weren't leaving their house, it was just an awesome opportunity to continue to push the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's definitely helped us with our worship experience, having the live stream and having the lyrics for everyone to watch. It's been important for our church just to be more aware and in our community, and for people to find us a lot easier. They would go on our website and couldn't really relate with what kind of church we're like. It's become a lot easier for people to know what they're showing up to and understand what's going on.
I don't know of anything that integrates and does it with this degree of excellence. I believe that you invest in some good equipment and use this system, and it will solve almost every issue that you have, apart from running your sound system. Everything to do with streaming, video, presentation, it has all of those components.
Most of our church has been so happy and so thankful that we've been able to live stream, because they don't miss any parts of series, and they're able to stay up to date with all the announcements and what's going on with our church. And so they're very thankful that they have the opportunity to be a part of our community, even if they haven't been able to join us.
GPS has been a huge help to our church, Lightforce Church, in its ability to show the versatility of a tech system. That you don't need a team of 6 people working on one project each. That you can have a full technical production streamed live with minimal manpower. It has shown that we can expand our level of quality of work and worship to a new degree, in that we can aim and strive for higher levels of quality and work together towards that in a way that we would never have dreamed before, due to just the sheer accessibility and utility of the system itself.
This wasn't developed, with one aspect in mind. We want to get your money for your live streaming, or we want to just run your cameras for you. It was really from that full vision of the technical component, and that is what sets it apart from anything else. It is not a one solution product. It is a full video, online presentation, streaming solution, trying to make it simple for any church to solve a whole lot of headaches and a whole lot of problems, and it's been done, and it's been done well.
Not only would I recommend GPS to other churches, you don't really have a choice when you start using the program, just because from honestly about the first couple of weeks of doing it, I started getting texts from pastors and from church technical directors asking what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we jumped so quickly in our production. So I didn't have a choice but to promote it, because how easy it is and how exciting it's been for our church and for our community. I would 100% recommend GPS to every church and anybody who does any live stream or any teaching.
Let me think about that. Yes, absolutely. I would recommend GPS systems for your church.
I would absolutely recommend GPS to other churches. Yes, the growth that I've seen even in other churches that I've attended who have taken on this system and are just starting to utilize it is incredible. Just the things that they can overcome, the problems they were dealing with before, the hiccups and stuff that they were trying to get around and not really having any answers for. It's so easy that the youth are some of the first people to pick it up, honestly, at other churches that I've attended. Training has been super easy and intuitive once they understand the basics of how the system works. And so recommendation would be extremely high on my list of things to talk about with this system.